All right, so diving into the segment about how Zillow has now become a licensed brokerage within Alberta, I think it's important to understand what that may or may not mean. So first I want to talk about really what Zillow has been to this point and what they're becoming. So historically, Zillow has been a marketing platform where they've always marketed agents or properties as a third-party site, and they focus on providing consumer value-added content, so that they're really focusing on generating that the online users and getting that traffic, which then they turn over and sell the agents leads for inquiries, people looking at properties or asking for the estimates, as it will. So 3 years ago, Zillow advanced their program forward, and then they started an iBuyer program where they are actually offering to essentially buy homes for cash, making it a bit easier, giving the consumer the opportunity to skip a step by hitting MLS, and then they would do that for an admin fee of X percent, say 7 or 8% reduced from the actual price that they're willing to pay. So it was really a pitch of convenience and allowing agent or consumers the opportunity to not have to list their home in order to have it sold. The problem was that Zillow now owns those homes, and then they had to sell them. So up until this point, Zillow has always gotten the information from the data feeds as a result of partnering with brokerages and agents. They really did focus on that consumer content and providing the value to get the traffic, and then in turn, like I said, sold the leads to the agents. But now they are actually licensing in select markets, Alberta being one of them, Canada being one, but they're licensing in select markets where they are buying these iBuyer homes. It's my understanding that these places are Arizona, Phoenix, and Tucson to test out these programs. Now, they've said that they're licensing sales staff so that they can sell their own properties, and they're going to continue to market continue to do their marketing platform to allow agents to continue to generate leads through these sites. But the people in the US are really quite upset with Zillow, because Zillow has always made it very clear and really adamant that they were never going to license to compete against agents. So agents in the US feel like they were lied to. The fact is that they are actually really afraid of Zillow becoming a full-service brokerage on a much larger scale. So they've essentially funded their own competitor to get started. Now, in Canada, they haven't been able to get all of the data because we're a much different system than what they see in the United States. In the States, the MLS is very segmented, where in Canada, we're all on one platform under Realtor.ca. So there wasn't the same benefit to Zillow entering into the marketplace as what we've had in Canada. So they've actually had to partner with brokerages to get the data, and brokerages just didn't see the value in that. So they went ahead and started licensing. Now, I do want to make a note that they haven't actually, in Alberta, they have yet to join a board. So they're going to have to join either, well, one of the Alberta boards, probably at least two of them, in order to get Edmonton's data as well. But that hasn't happened yet, but we feel like it is inevitable. That's the progress that they're making. So I want to talk about what does it mean for you, and what does that look like? So we feel like it's just another place where you can put advertising dollars, where we've already segmented that so far. We personally don't believe that this is going to be an opportunity to create more exposure for your listings, because we already have that exposure through Realtor.ca. Yes, it is a good website and it's a good online experience. but we don't feel like it's going to add that additional exposure where that's been one of their sales pitches in the US. It is an opportunity to be getting more online lead inquiries and that sort of thing. So this is one of the challenges that this is going to bring, is it is going to make it a lot more difficult for agents that are only and brokerages alike that are only focused on online lead generation. This is going to be a very direct competitor in that marketplace. Now, the online market and that transactional style is very one-off, and I do want to make mention that this is the type of business that is going to go after the unattached consumer. So that consumer that doesn't have a realtor relationship where they can rely on that person for advice. This is a very transactional model because right now, especially in Alberta, with everything that's been going on in COVID, it actually leads to more people that are just going online to find an agent and then they're moving out of the province. So you get one transaction instead of building a relationship-based business, which could lead to 7 or 8 down through your career. So it's a very big, it's going to have a big impact on those brokerage and team and agent models that are all focused on that. And then the potential for being a very large competitor for the full service brokerages. Now, what can we do about all of this? And one of the things that I want to make very clear is that at CIR, we've always felt like real estate is a relationship-based business, and we have to be able to provide more value to the consumer than what a website can, because if you can't build more trust than a website, then you're just not going to be in business very long. So we need to establish our marketing campaigns and our expertise as the go-to in real estate, so that when they do go to another website or they do go online and they have questions about real estate, they know that they can come to you for those answers. It goes back to the millennials becoming the largest generation ever to rely on referrals. Quick backdate on this is that prior to the millennials, it was actually the silent generation that relied on referral-based business, because that was the generation before the baby boomers. And they relied on this because they needed to be able to find a way to network, and there was just no other way to do business back then. And then the baby boomers came along, and it was the do-it-yourself generation, and they came in and took over and made a ton of money, lost a ton of money, made a ton of money, and then Gen X and Gen Y came along and were kind of this hybrid between what the boomers are and what the millennials have become. But what the millennials are is that we're now faced with the highest educated consumer that we've ever dealt with in real estate. There's more information available than in any other time in real estate's organized history. So the challenge that becomes, and my belief as to why the millennials are relying on referrals, is because there's so much information out there, is that people need somebody to tell them what's true and what isn't true. They need that educated advisor to be able to weed through all of the stuff and all of the noise out there. So it's a real opportunity to focus on being that educated advisor. And we really do believe that if you're that go-to person, your business will always be protected. Why I say that is because if Google or if Zillow or anything else was the answer to every consumer's question as to what's going on in the market, then why are people asking on all these chat groups about, do you know somebody who can build a fence? Do you know a good painter? Do you know a good electrician? Do you know a good realtor? It's because people still rely on that connection-based model where they need that experience. So we really feel like that is going to continue to be the case, and real estate is highly relationship-based. Now, I guess the short answer to all of that is don't panic. All you need to do is get your annual marketing campaigns that keep you in flow with your clients in order, and making sure that you have that in place. And also making sure that you're staying up to date and relevant and providing that content. Video has become a major means of education through people. So social media, it's amazing that YouTube has actually now more online viewers than all of the cable TV networks combined. So people are going to the video for their education needs and getting an understanding of what is going on in the market. So being able to get in front of people, making sure that you're educated, keeping relevant and providing value will be key.